Hi, Raj. Thank you for joining us on a podcast with Dawdle. This is a product deep dive session, and we have the founder of NaturalText with us, Rajasankar Viswanathan. Raj, before we start the discussion, if you could take initial 1 or 2 minutes and take our audience to your journey which led to NaturalText so far.
Hi, thanks for the podcast. My name is Rajasankar, and I'm doing AI NLP for around more than 15 years now. So, for me, what led to is my own personal quest. I am a self-learned linguistics, and I am interested in my mother tongue Tamil and one of the other ancient language Sanskrit, which is also the Sanskrit words also used in Tamil, where I live in the Kongu region, which is the industrial cluster of Erode, Coimbatore, Tirupur in the Tamil Nadu. And I was interested from my childhood that how what are these words, what are these meanings, and why we are using it, what could be related to this, and all the politics, the theories, both in the academia and non-academia. So I was most interested into it. And my first quest was to write a kind of a expert level or a rule-based interpreter for Tamil grammar, which is unsuccessful because at the time the things were not good, and I didn't even understand some of the nuances of the grammar and the language itself. And the second thing is that in my previous stint as a programmer and a software developer, I wrote a framework that converted naturally typed English queries into code generation in order to so that the people can do test the software, the business managers can test the software, and also this is not an automation of something, but it is actually runs the product test which once the business managers wanted to do what they are. That cannot be compared with the today's Gen AI or anything, but it's kind of a kind of low level, not advanced one, but it solved the purpose. It was still that considered very advanced at the time. I'm talking about 15, 14 years before. So that was my quest. And I also read a lot. And my first thing was to understand how I can find some of the contradictory statements given a book or given a documents and all. So that could be save a lot of time. Instead of you have to read everything, you have to internalize it, then reason it out that this is wrong, these people have made a mistake, these two things are contradictory statements, and so on. So that is what my first kind of urge or a quest to do this thing. And today you can see that a lot of people have the same idea. When you are the only one, you have that idea that would be crazy, but you have multiple people or a large number of people have that idea or want that a solution that is a need, and that led to I am trying out various things and trying to do various things and multiple failures, small successes, and then it led to the what of the current state. So that is my personal journey. It is kind of social, political, not only in technological level, because all our lives are complex. We live in a world where everything intertwines, everything intersects. And that is how I came into this. Yeah, so that's my background. I'm an engineer by degree and a software developer, but my software is like poetry, like a poetry. I like a software. I want a perfection, but that's also where the software gives, productivity outputs. It saves time and money to our customers. Yeah, so that's my background.
Nice, nice. Thank you so much, Raj, for taking us through. Very great journey so far. Tell us a bit about what is natural text. What is it like?
So natural text, the name came one Sunday afternoon. Me and my friend trying to find a brand name for that, and we are trying various things. I came up with this name in order to put that as a natural language. We are trying to understand the text and why text, not video or audio or anything, or just information or something. Because text as a language that captures a lot of nuances when we speak. Just whatever the picture, even the video cannot capture that imagination as a poetry as in there. And then that's also very complex. If you look at the image vision is a little bit hard in the computers, but still the computers cannot fundamentally alter or cannot fundamentally understand the language as we have seen it even with this advancement. So I thought that then, and if you look at it, most of the business information, most of the things finally descends into text. And even when you have an audio, you speak, that is a text. So that is what the natural and the text, which means that I want to combine these two. And my our tagline is understand uh, text naturally, or understand language naturally. As a human being, we are going to enable the system or it's similar to understand the language. So that's the word, and it is up to now. It is lives up to that promise. That there is still a long journey ahead for us, but the best yet to there to come in. But it is still saves time and helps the customers to understand. So that is the natural part of the text, and the text as in you understand.
That is great. Raj, so tell us about a bit about the product. Like, what are the features like? And also, while you're talking about this, also tell us what is the business problem that those features solve.
Yeah. So the product, basically, our product does a one thing great, that groups the any kind of a data points into clusters. I call it as a natural clusters, which means that these are all contextual clusters. Say, for example, if you take an image or something, even it can work on it, you can work on the any kind of data, if you discuss the patterns. Something like even if it's a DNA or a nuclear, I tested it in order to test the language, and it still works. What our thing does is that once you throw in the data, structure, unstructured, any kind of a mixed numbers, any kind of a data, forms the contextual clusters to give you the meaning of what is there. Okay, no, this is like clustering or grouping is a long one. Everybody does it. Then what's the point? So our point is that you don't have to train, you don't have to tag, you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to know the language. You don't even have to sharing that is that multiple languages out there. The languages are left and right, even if it is a mathematical thing or if it is a chemical formula, anything you can throw in it, it can automatically cluster it. So that is the first advantage. The second advantage is that once you cluster those things, it will give you the option like, let's say you cluster the data from the social media. The social media, you have a lot of stuff coming in, not safe for work, views, spam, fake news, blah, blah, everything will come in, right? It can cleanly, neatly groups these into several clusters, several groups. So then you can just take a look at a one piece of information in a cluster, and you would be 100% sure that all the information in the cluster is 95% similar. And then you can arrange it, say, okay, I don't want a 95% similar. You want a 20% similar, and you want to see. So this is both a hierarchical and a clustering that can solve a problem. So, okay, you have this basic functionality as a cluster, and what does it do anything more? Okay, once you have a cluster, you can find connections between the documents, which means that if, say, let's say you have a million documents, and you can find out that is there any document that is more referenced into, or if you look at patterns, you can see that, okay, say, look at this pattern, and is there any claims or anything is used by any other patterns out there? You don't have to search, you don't have to do it. Just click on it, you will get all the similar patterns. The same thing goes to legal things or any kind of information where. And then the second thing is that once you have it, you can drag it for the search. So you want to search information, but you don't know the keywords. So right now you have to, even in GenAI prompting, you have to put a correct prompt. But here you have to do all these things in a way that it can go ahead and show you what are the things you are not searching for, and then you don't even have to enable it. Something like if you go to Google and searches, it will look at the something like a heat and a thermal will be interchangeably used. But you don't have to tell the model or the software about it, algorithm about it. It can automatically do it. And the third thing is that finally it comes to I want to find out similar meanings of the word. So if you look at in the current technology, the Google does the this is called vectorization at all. But how do you do that across other things? Something like, okay, you want to do it in a chemical formulas or anything that's not there. So how do you figure that out? Even with the names, how do you figure it out? This is an actor or this is a celebrity, that is a politician. Both the things are different. So our AI can automatically bring that up though and tell you that, okay, these are all similar words or these are all not similar words, and so on and so forth. So all these things solve a particular problem where we go to the industry, say, let's say, take the sentiment analysis. Right now, if you go to that, every company does that. But what they do there, they say this is good or this is bad. The customer is angry. The customer is not angry, and so on. But what they don't tell you is that what is the problem? Why the customer is angry? What is they say if you want to ask the AI to rank top 10 problems customers are angry about? Or what are the features customers are happy about? What are the features, the lowest features customers are not talking about, or is there any kind of a distribution out there? Or say if you could go to the market research industry where they want to understand that they have two things. One is a text, they get an opinion, and then they also ask the questions, multiple choice questions. Say select this and select that. So is there any pattern? Is there anything that the customers are showing a kind of a overall pattern, or is there any fake user coming in? So how we are going to solve it? So all these things show into this problem that Gen AI is great, but it is question and answering, but there is a whole lot of industries, whole lot of business problems that requires this kind of a solution, and that is where our tagline is untapped, underserved, and unserved markets. So the markets which are not taken care by the other AI, we go and solve them.
This is nice actually, Raj. And are there any similar products in the market which are doing it?
Exactly. As I told you, this is a common problem for everybody. Right? So once you have a paper, let's say if you have academic journals or any reviews and all, people want to figure it out. Even if you have an idea, there could be somebody done a research and execute an idea. So you don't want to go and do that idea. You want to search it. So there are other companies. I don't want to go to the companies right now. But there are a lot of other companies, a lot of other people are trying to do that because this has been such a unsolved problem for a long time. And then talk about ranking. So when you go to search, private document search, what I call an enterprise search, still an unresolved problem because in Google, if you take a Google solved this problem by a human training. Like we all train the data which goes into Google. Like you click it, you read it, somebody do a backlink. So all these data is publicly available. Of course, you can also, if you can download it, you can also do it. But Google is doing it for a 20 years. They have all the data. But if it is comes to say you have a private company or you are getting a lot of emails or even in tech sales, even if you are running a sales, lead generation output, and you want to search for a particular company or you want to search for a particular persona, how do you search? You go and type it and it spits out the results and then you have to go through that. So there are companies who are trying to solve this by going into the AI. So I want to solve it. In fact, if you look at it, Gen AI was first, before 2 years, it was there to shave off some percentage of Google search. So they reasoned that if they can take a little bit of 1 or 2% from the Google market share, that will be amount to tens of billions of dollars. So that problem is there, and people trying to address it. Even the academia is trying to come out with the kind of ranking methods and ranking systems and all. But still, it is vectorization. Even recently, yesterday, people are trying to write a paper that what is the limitations of this search ranking and so on. So that problem is still being addressed by a lot of people. And there will be, of course, different kind of a solutions will come because this is not a one-step solution. Somebody can have another solution come up. But what is ours is that, we are doing a kind of a natural thing. That is, you don't have to do all these things and our AI can automatically take care. So we got competitors, got companies that can do it and so on. So yes, a lot of companies are that's doing it. A lot of companies using open source technologies to do it, but ours is our own in-house algorithm, and I think that it can be useful for a lot of other people.
Got it. Got it. And what is your moat like? Like, is there anything which can stop anybody from getting into what you're doing?
Yes, something like somebody have to invent, understand language. So my view is that the mode is there. We have right now a mode. Ours is secret sources that our technology. But isn't anybody what stops somebody else to discovering that? they can, because entire data is out there. They have to look it up. But one of the major reasons why those brilliant people not looking at is that various social, political, academic reasons and so on. So for me, something like if I have to write this paper and present to any university, it will not get accepted. So that is the first thing. So that is we are safe on that. The second thing is that Gen AI can do it, may not be not. That is a different one. That it has its own limitations. And the more is for us is that in Gen AI and everything, I can work that out by hand. I can show you that how does internally work, and that knowledge powers our AI, which others don't have. If you look at it, there is no mathematical proof of that. I have the proof and so on. But the third part is that the hardware advances can do it. Maybe if they can crack the quantum computers with the 5,000 or 10,000 qubits, maybe we can see it. But still, we will be having a mode and having sailing it safely rather than fearing some kind of advancement and so on. But is it again? It doesn't stop somebody else to independently come up with that idea, because ideas are everybody they can think and come up. That will be a different topic altogether. But yes, our motive is that our AI solves the problems in the current AI, and we can actually work out and mathematically prove that why the results came in or not came in. This is not a probability or some kind of a random one. Once you get an answer, you know why it is giving you the answer. So that is our mode.
Got it. Now, the most interesting part of the discussion is that what kind of customers are you targeting? Their industries, geographies, and all those
Yeah,
things.
so we talk it, my generic views that we go to the customers who are having the large data and not
Hmm.
satisfied with the current thing. So that is too generic for anyone to understand. But our data thing is that if you drill down a deep, so why other AI cannot work it, there is a reason. That is the reason that the data can fast change. So what are the industries the data can fast change? Retail, e-commerce, logistics, market research,
Yes.
fintech. Even the fintech, the data can foster in a sense that the hacking attempts would be something like it will evolve. People will always find new ways to do the fraud, new ways to do something. It is called as anomaly detection. So these are all some of the areas where we go there and talk to them. Right now, we are working in a market research product that is going to be maybe the first product in the first AI in the market research. So that is why market research is that the market research industry is vast,
Yes.
but the data is fast changing, so people's opinions can change. And they cannot use the historical data. They cannot take a one survey and use the data in another survey, because both the surveys, both the target market will be their target market, or who answers the questions will
Yes.
be different. And the second thing is that right now they are doing all kind of fake data, synthetic data, fake reviews, and all. So how they are going to figure it out? So that is a major disruption out there. It is also again, I'm sorry. And coming back to the political things, because when they are trying to do a political surveys, other people, other countries, the non-state actors can damage it, right? So that is the other one. The other data is that, as I said, logistics, e-commerce data, so people's things can change. Say,
Yes.
for example, right now the political situation is different in a sense that the entire supply chain industries have to be reworked. And what do you do with the corona? The major example for us is the corona times where your entire AI model is broken because the people's behavior changed overnight. So they have to redo it, they have to recollect the data and so on. So that is our target market right now. In the industries we target these things, and the other industries that the legacy industries like manufacturing, vehicle manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, other products where they have to search for molecules and so on. Also in healthcare, but healthcare is a very hard nut to crack for us because we are a smart team, fledgling startup, and that their cycle somewhere around 6 months and a year kind of a cycles. That will take a little bit of a time. We are still pitching to the our own things to the efforts to the people out there, but that will take a little bit of a time. Again, if you go look at the legal industry, again, there is another hard nut to crack where having this thing, it needs the data, you have to put it out there, you have to put a lot of money, initial investment to get it. So these industries have its own challenges to going into that. As a small startup, we have our own challenges to work with. At the domains is that, sorry, geography is that we target India and US, so that's the India. And I find that every time I talk to somebody, they will have a back office in India. If I talk to some person in India, they will have a back office in US, or they work in some other person in out there, and so on and so forth. Because our services industry is huge, and we do go into Europe and like in Middle East and other areas. Middle East mostly on fintech. Europe has its own challenges, like some of them told that there are countries you go and you cannot even parse their data because their language and their notations are so different that it will always break your parser. So yeah, it has its own challenges, and I learned that in a hard way. And yeah, so these two things are major parts of it. We do some of the things in other Asian markets, like in China, Japan, other markets, but that's still it's very fledgling. We yet to have a deal in those markets. So the things are out there. So these are all the various markets and the geography. Did I miss anything? Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Raj. I think the next topic is around what are the main objections that you face while you are talking to your customers? Like, what are the main objections or questions that they ask?
People want to use AI. People want to solve the problems they are facing using a technology, but they don't know what they are looking from the AI or what they are looking from the data
Yes.
analytics. It is the most of a kind of a, not only a culture problem, but it's a understanding problem. You also
Yes.
saw that the Gen AI projects for the MIT study recently last week, the Gen AI projects failed because the people don't understand what are the capabilities of GenAI. So the understandability is the major thing. When I go and talk to people, they want to implement AI. They have a need. I can tell them the need, but they cannot imagine or they cannot understand that, okay, this is a fundamentally a different concept. So now to explain this, I go back to Seth Godin, the famous marketing guru. You remember Seth Godin?
Yes.
Yeah, you remember. So long time ago, he put out the thing is that email is not a faster fax, car is not a faster bullet car, airplane is not a faster train, and so on. So if you look at this, his rephrasing that email is not a faster fax means that the fax machine, maybe the Gen Z don't understand what is a fax machine, what is it. So I have to give an example that fax machine is something like sending a Xerox over it. So there will be a machine. You put your letter or something, it will photocopies it and digitize it and send it across another machine, and then that machine prints it out. So that is a fax machine for to easier understanding. I still remember that one of my friend in here went out to Germany, and Germany is still using fax machines. Japan is still using fax machines, and he's wondering that what is the sound that they and why it is coming, and he saw the fax machine. Gen Z have to understand what is a fax, so in order to they to understand the email. So email has all the different things, and if you rephrase it today, so it's not a faster email, right? So WhatsApp has its own differentiate things and social media. So that's the reason, like when they do it, AI is not what they try to do. So we also face this issue there. For example, some of their users data columns, the Excel sheet that has 800,000 columns. So they have a rows of 1,000 rows, but the columns is also 1,000 columns. And they're trying to, review all those data and trying to figure it out what it is. So they have this issue and said, okay, you want to do this thing, I can offer something else along with our AI. So I can make you to write queries in the browser that will show you the answers, that will show you the data, what you want to look at, and then you can act upon it. That was like a bolt, like they got, oh, maybe I just that I want that, I don't know how to pronounce it or how to say it over. So that's the kind of a thing where people struggle with this thing. So they cannot even, because they are doing that work, looking at the data every single day, and they don't understand what is the problem with it, right? So it is like you go to the cricket, you in the field, the person who's in the ground have a different view than the coach standing outside. There was a controversy that people are using communication devices between the coach and the captain that led to a controversy. So that is the point. This is the point which we are making it like the understanding of what they want from the AI and what they are trying to solve it. But that is different from other software projects or software things. That other software has a particular output. So you do this, you get that. You click on this, this shows up. You upload an image and you see it in your profile picture. So these things are very, very simple to understand, even though has a lot of technology background. But for this, they have to understand that what they wanted to do, what they wanted to solve, and that would be fundamentally different from what they wanted to do. So I faced this in my previous things where I do this, in implementing NLP, and also I'm familiar to this, and I offer some of the other solutions which are not related to AI. So think about the AI is the engine, but you want in a car, you want it in a truck, you want it in a bus, so that you want a leather upholstery, you want a nice internal feature so that you can travel comfortably. So that is the one which we face, and that's the one we offer. We tell them, okay, this is the engine. You want it, you can keep it. You can build it your own, or I can build a nice car for you. So that is the major challenge to figuring out what kind of a features they wanted in a car. So that is the major part of, or a major question where when we face going into that to explain to them.
This is superb, actually, Raj. You have covered it so well.
Yeah, thank you. So this is kind of I'm going to talking to a lot of people. Some of them work out, some of them doesn't work out. So learning from the mistakes. Having we have an advisor in US. He has a lot of experience. He spent 3-4 decades in NLP. He's from the world war, kind of doing it in a
Yes.
very small, limited memory, limited CPU and we came in all the way. So we sit and discuss, and he will offer his own advices on what we can do. And then this session, brainstorming session, and we keep improving and offer that. So we have our own checklist of questions, asking the customers that what they are facing, what do they understand. And then another thing would be something like the CTOs, the CXO level would want something, but the actual users of the product would want something else. So usually several projects will stuck at that phase where they want something and we create and show them a demo, and the users want something else and then we have to rework it. So that is also there, but the major problem again, this one, that people cannot comprehend it in a sense that is too abstract for them to imagine. So we go and create like pictures, products, demos. And I always tell them that give me your data, a sample data or any kind of a similar data, so that you will understand from your own point of view, not from our own examples I'm telling you. So that pitch actually saves a lot of time for both me and the customers that, okay, they can see, okay, this is my data, this is what the result is, I can work it out. Yeah, so that is the major one and how we solve it. The pitch is that, okay, give me your sample data and I can show you what it is. And then you can see it within a week. You don't have to invest some money, invest time and do it for 6 months and then figure it out. Oh, it's failed. You can fail, and fail fast is the major thing.
Thank you so much, Raj, for joining us on a podcast. It seems that this podcast is going to be very insightful for a lot of your you know right customers who may be watching it, and plus it will also help a lot of industry leaders, kind of find out clues on how they can solve their own business problem with the help of your solution. I again thank you, Raj, and we'll be in touch and we'll try to make this very successful one. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rishikesh. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to answer any more questions. I'm happy to communicate with you and keep in touch and looking forward to you discuss much more things, really kind of current affairs on what happens in technology in future.
Absolutely, Raj.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.